You want to build wealth? Don't listen to Dave Ramsey. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hey there, my name is Carey Buck. I've been an independent ATM business owner since 2009, and I've been an ATM business mentor since 2011. That's where I teach people just like you how to start and grow your own profitable ATM business that'll provide you with consistent monthly passive income and big chunks of cash in small time frames. Now, why would you want consistent passive income and big chunks of cash in small time frames? Well, that's easy. You're going to need those two things if you want to fire your boss or retire early, okay? And the reason being is you need consistent passive income because you want to leverage your time, right? We all get the same amount of time, but you need to leverage your time so you're making money while you sleep and you don't actually actively have to be making the money for it to be coming in, right? And you also want to make big chunks of cash in small time frames because maybe you make $5,000 a month now at your job or $4,000 a month now. You need to be able to make that money faster. So what if you made $4,000 or $5,000 in a weekend, right? So you need to collapse time frames, right? Leverage your time and make money faster, okay? That's why you need big chunks of cash and consistent passive income. Those two things together, boom, will get you out of that job or retiring early way quicker than you ever thought possible. If you'd like me to help you start and grow your own profitable ATM business, I invite you to go to atmtrainingvideo.com, or better yet, just click that link in the description right below. All right, and do me a favor real quick right now before you do anything else, give me a thumbs up for this video. Give me a thumbs up for this video. I know you're like, but I don't know if this video is going to be any good, Carey. Trust me, it's going to be good. Thumbs up. Also, like that little ATM in the corner, or it might be over there. Click that little ATM in the corner. And that's going to subscribe you to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification, select always, so every time I post a video, you're first to know, okay? So, what this video is about, all right? If you want to be wealthy, if you want to grow wealth faster than you ever thought possible, don't listen to Dave Ramsey. That's what I'm going to talk to you about, all right? So here's the thing. Go back with me. We're going to go back to 2009. 2009, okay? This is me. Well, my little hair spiked up, right? And this is Kathy. She got the long hair. She's gonna be happy that I drew her pretty tall. We're like the same size. She's like way shorter than me. But anyways, this is me and this is Kathy in 2009. And Kathy and I in 2009 were in $150,000 plus in debt. $150,000 plus in debt. That's what we were in 2009. And this is not even accounting for our house. Okay, I'm not even talking about our house. This was like credit cards, lawyer bills, all kinds of craziness. Like even some stuff that I don't even know what it was, and I'm sure she didn't even know what it was. But $150,000 plus in debt, and that's not $150, $150,000 in debt. And I'm like, man, we need to get out of debt. Like talk about. Look, I'm smiling here, but look, it was really this. Right? We had these frowns and probably tears. You know what I'm saying? You probably know what I'm saying if you've ever been in a situation like this or similar. Right? It was stressful, like carrying all that weight on your back. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, okay, we need to get out of debt. So we learned about Dave Ramsey. And I was like, oh, maybe we could, follow Dave's advice, right? Let's think about that. So Dave Ramsey has what he calls his baby steps, right? And he's got 7 of them, right? And this is what they are, okay? Baby step 1, $1,000 in an emergency fund, okay? That's the very first baby step. He tells you to get $1,000 together, put it in an emergency fund in case something happens. Like maybe you need new tires or whatever it is. But you and I know emergencies happen. Like they just pop out of the blue, right? And then baby step number 2, what you're gonna do is pay off all debt. Except your house. Okay? So you pay off every single piece of debt you have except your house. Okay? Now baby step number 3, now you're going to fully fund this emergency fund. So now you're going to have 3 to 6 months of expenses in the emergency fund. Okay? So that's fully funding this thing. You know, step 3, you're fully funding that with 3 to 6 months of expenses. All right? Step 4, 15% into retirement accounts. Right? That might mean you can do it all in, you know, your 401k at work, or you might be like, oh, they only match 6%, so maybe you do 6%, maybe your spouse does 6%, then you got 3% somewhere else, right? Whatever it is, but you're looking at 15% to fund your retirement. Okay? So that's number 4. Number 5, is to save money for your college for your kids. I put it backwards, but college for kids. Let's do that. So you're saving money for your kids to go to college. Okay? Then number 6. Number 6, you're paying off your house early, right? I didn't put the door up there. So you're paying off your house early. That's number 6. And then number 7, here we go, baby, here we go. Build wealth and give. Build wealth and give. This was number 7, right? So I looked at this list, right? I was like, I gotta wait till down here to start building wealth for myself and my family? What? That doesn't sound right. Why am I waiting? This could take years. Years. This could take, let me say it again, years. Why do I have to wait all this time to start building wealth? That don't make no sense. That does not make any sense, right? It just didn't make any sense to me. So I was like, you know what? We're going to do this while we do this. So my plan for myself and my wife was to build wealth while getting out of debt, right? So build wealth, right? Start a business that's going to provide us cash flow, and then use that cash flow to get out of debt. Simple, right? That was the goal, okay? And he does something called a debt snowball, which I love, and that's what we used, right? We built that wealth, started to build a wealth, started an ATM business, cash flow started to come in, and we used that cash flow using his debt snowball to pay off the debt. One problem we had that with my great plan of, hey, let's start a business that will provide us cash flow. Whoops, I'm dropping stuff. We wanted to build wealth now while getting out of debt, right? So we needed a business that was going to provide us cash flow. Because the cash flow was going to knock that out. You with me? The cash flow from the business that we were creating was going to knock out our debt. The problem that we had was that this is how much money we had to start our business. Nothing. We didn't have any money to start our business. We were at $150,000+ worth of debt. We had no money to start a business, right? So you know, when you think that way, like, in this world, we had no business starting an ATM business in 2009. Right? We had no money. So what did we do? Well, you know what? We followed, in my opinion, science, right? So what we did was, to start this business, we went into even more debt. What? Carey, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're already in $150,000 plus worth of debt, and you're going to add more debt onto it? Yeah, Jack. Here's the deal. This debt I was adding onto it now was not bad debt. It was not crazy debt. It was not debt that I didn't know what the heck it was, right? After 10, 15 years of stuff, right? This was debt that was going to build wealth for me and give me cash flow and get me out of all my debt. And you're like, but Carey, you're already in this much debt and you're going even more in debt, right? So it's like, actually it's more like this. I'm in this much debt, right? So I'm below. Like here's even, I'm below even, and I'm going even more below, right? In debt to build wealth. Well, the way I see it is, I'm just following science, nature. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to show you. So, let's talk about a tree for a second. Real quick, just a tree. Simple tree. That's the ground, that's the grass, right? You got a tree. Does it do this? Is that how a tree happens? Is that how a tree grows? No, my friends. It starts down here with all the roots. It starts down on the ground. Plant some seeds, right? And then these roots grow, and then, boom, then up comes the tree. So it goes down before it goes up. It starts down, and then it goes up. Same with, I just actually watched a video on this, so I'm going to share it with you. Asparagus, right? So here you go. You got asparagus, right? You got this little asparagus stalk. Spear, they call it, right? Asparagus spear. And they got these little things in there, right? They got some right here, or some right here, right here, right? Does asparagus just magically start growing up? No. It starts down here in the ground. Underground is where it starts, and then it grows up. So it starts down, and then it goes up, right? Now maybe you're into houses and real estate and stuff. Let's take a house, okay? Do they say, okay, let's make a roof, let's do all this, okay, there's our house, right? Do they start the house from the roof, the chimney, and work their way down? No, what do? They dig a hole in the ground and they build the foundation. Sometimes it's a basement, sometimes it's just a foundation, but they're down here and then they build up. So all this stuff in nature and science, right, in building, you start down and then you go up. So you got to start down in order for it to grow. You got to start down in order for it to build up. You feel me here, right? So I was like, you know what? We're going to go down even more to start going up and building wealth. That's exactly what we did. That is exactly what we did. So what did we do? 2009. We're sad because we're $150,000 plus worth of debt. We want to start an ATM business. We got no money. Nada to start that. So we took out a small line of credit and 2 cash advances on credit cards. 2 cash advances on credit cards. I know right now you're thinking, oh my God, Carey, oh my God, those interest rates must have been killer. Yeah, they were, but guess what? It didn't matter. It doesn't matter because we have a plan. We had a plan. These 2 credit cards and this line of credit was going to help us to build our wealth. This wealth was going to provide us cash flow to knock out that debt. You hear me? To knock out the debt. So we didn't wait until this for step 7. We did this. We did number 7 and we did number 2. That's what we did. Number 2 and number 7 at the same time. Same time, baby. building wealth and getting out of debt, right? Because, so here's the thing. We started the ATM business, right? So we had these machines, these cash flow machines giving us cash flow, and we would use that cash flow to pay off our debt. But we were still building wealth, right? Because once the debt's paid off, we still got these cash flow machines. Or if we needed to, we could always sell the machines and sell the business, right? We still were building wealth while paying off our debt. Does that make sense? So I know, and I'm guilty of this, guys. I gave such bad information before, and I'm going to apologize. I tried to apologize before, but I'm going to apologize now. Like, I would tell folks, look, if you don't have $10,000 cash or all the cash you need to start an ATM business, don't bother. Don't bother until you have it saved up. Why would I give that? So there's two stupid reasons. There's two really dumb reasons, why there's two main reasons why that advice was so silly and should have never came out of my mouth. Reason number one is, that's not what I did. That's not how I started my ATM business. I started my ATM business by going into more debt to build my wealth, to grow cash flow. So why would I tell you to do the opposite? Why would I say, oh, don't do that. Wait and save all your money. Hey, maybe it'll take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Just wait and then start. Why would I tell you that? That is so silly. Like, I'm doing you a disservice by telling you that. And it's something that I did the opposite of that. Like, I literally didn't even follow that advice. So why would I give that to you? And I'm sorry about that. It was ridiculous because I knew how we started our ATM business. We didn't have no money, right? We borrowed it. We used OPM, other people's money, right? That was the first reason that advice was stupid. Here's the second reason, okay? So y'all know what ROI means, right? ROI, return on investment. So recently, I think it was like a month or so ago, I had my buddy Bill come on and do a private session with all my students about tax planning and tax strategy and things like that. And I was like, hey Bill, can you explain to folks how they can figure out their ROI, their return on investment in their ATM business, right? And he said, sure. So he went into a scenario of, let's say you do have $10,000 underneath your mattress or in your bank account, right? So he went into the scenario showing you the formula to figure out your ROI with that money, okay? Easy peasy, right? So then I said, hey Bill, can you do me a favor? Can you let my students know how to figure out their ROI if they don't have that $10,000 under their mattress, but instead, they borrow it from somewhere else. So it's not their money. They borrow it from the bank, borrow it from another person, credit card, whatever. And he said, oh yeah, sure. He said, when you borrow funds and then you want to figure out your ROI, this is what your ROI becomes. This is what your return on investment is. Okay. Whoops. Infinite. When you borrow funds to start your ATM business, you're using leverage. And when you're using somebody else's money to start your business and you start making money, you have an infinite ROI. Because you didn't use your money. You didn't use your money. Who wants an infinite ROI, right? I'm not saying you got a 5% ROI. I'm not saying you got a 10% ROI. I'm not even saying you got a 50% or 100% or 1,000% ROI. Infinite ROI. Like, who wouldn't want an infinite ROI? Like, that's beyond an amazing ROI, right? It's infinite because you are making money. You are making returns. You are generating cash flow on money in the first place that wasn't even yours. That's an infinite return, ladies and gentlemen, right? So don't be afraid to go in more debt to start a business that will provide you cash flow and help you build wealth now. There is no need to wait until step 7. None. 0. Right? And if you're wondering, well, what happened to that $150,000 plus of debt, Carey? Well, it's all gone. It's all gone. Okay? All that money, so again, it's just 2009. It didn't happen right away, right? It didn't, it's not like we got rid of $150,000 debt in a year, right? It took time, but it all got wiped out. Now, of course, we have a house. We have a new house. We have house debt, and we have 2 cars. I was actually going to pay both of our cars off. I was going to do that. And then I was like, that's kind of dumb. Because if I take, so I think one of our cars, we owe like $6,000 and the other one is like $7,000. So that's $13,000. I'm like, if I take that $13,000 and pay off the cars, I don't have that $13,000 anymore. Like, I can't put that $13,000 out in the world for me to generate more income because I just use it to pay off those cars. So instead, we keep our house mortgage payment, we keep our 2 car payments, and we use the cash flow from our ATM business to pay them down, pay them off. And I still have that $13,000. This is just an example, right? I still have that $13,000 that I can put out into the world and put the work for me to generate more cash flow to pay things off, right? So financial freedom, right, is you become financially free when your passive income exceeds your expenses. So our passive income, our passive cash flow we have coming in, pays all our debt, which is our house, and pays our cars. That's the only debt we have, right? Because we paid all that other stuff off and we haven't gotten more of it. You know what I mean? I mean, actually, we probably did, but we, paid it off, right? So now we just have the house and the cars, okay? So all that was gone because I chose not to listen to Dave Ramsey, and instead, I started to build wealth and pay off debt at the same time. And yes, it sounds counterintuitive to go into more debt to get out of debt. I get it. Totally get it. I totally understand. But this is how stuff works in nature. It's how it works in building things, right? You start below, and then you build. Start down, and you build up. Start down, you build up. Start down, you grow up. You start down, you grow up. So what happened to us? We started down. We went even further down to go up. Right? Does that make sense? Right? So we use, and also when you're using other people's money, remember we were talking about leverage? So you need leverage to leverage your time, and then you need to make money faster, right? So when you use other people's money, that is also leverage, right? You're leveraging somebody else's money. I know it looks like it says Lexerage, but it's a V. So you're leveraging someone else's money too, right? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool that you can go into more debt in order to get out of debt, all while building wealth. Right? So I had to share that with you. I love the little debt snowball thing that Dave teaches, but I'm not a fan of you having to do all this stuff in order for you to start building wealth and giving. Right? Obviously, the big thing I'm talking about is wealth, but giving as well. Right? And you see my shirt. We volunteer at the fire department. We volunteer Meals on Wheels. We deliver meals to the elderly. Right? I volunteer with cat organizations. We volunteer with a marine organization. Right? We were babysitting a seal on the beach. A couple days. I was stranded on the beach. Right? So you can do all these things while paying off debt, right? I highly recommend it. I highly don't recommend going through all this in order to start building your wealth. You can use the cash flow that you generate from building wealth to pay off your debt faster, right? And not only faster, but you actually have something to show for it at the end, right? Because if you go this route, you paid off all your debt. You paid all your debt off, paid all this off, and now what? Well, you got nothing. You don't have anything, right? Whereas if you build your wealth and pay off your debt, at the end of getting this to zero, well, you still have cash flow coming in from this wealth that you built, right? Because, these assets, these cash flowing assets are still going to throw off cash to you. Even after your debt's at zero, they're still going to be throwing cash flow at you. All right? You still have this wealth machine. You still have this wealth. Like you can keep the cash flow, you can sell the business, whatever you want, but you still have this cash flow coming in, right? So there's the saying that someone in a mastermind I'm in said, and I don't know if these were his words or if he got them from someone else, but I'm gonna share them with you because they're pretty potent and powerful. He says that poor people want to be debt free. Rich people want to be financially free. Poor people want to be debt free. Rich people want to be financially free. And when we're talking about financial freedom, we're talking about money freedom and time freedom. That's why I say financial freedom is when your passive income exceeds your expenses, because passive income doesn't really require you to be there to make that money, right? It's where you're getting your time back, and it's where you can make as much money as you want. That's financial freedom, right? So poor people want to be debt free, rich people want to be financially free. Pretty powerful, right? Pretty powerful. And that's why I teach you about consistent passive income and the big chunks of cash, right? Because you're leveraging your time with the passive income, the consistent passive income, and you're collapsing time frames with the money. Like instead of making that money in a month, you can make it in a day, or you can make it in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? And you put those two together, you will have financial freedom, and you will eventually be able to say to your boss, sayonara, or you know what, I know I'm only 30, but I'm retired now, right? Get what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of using leverage. Don't be afraid of going into more debt to get out of debt, right? Don't be afraid of going into debt in order to build your wealth, right? You think all these people that are millionaires and billionaires that have real estate bought their real estate for cash? No, because they know the power of leverage. They know the power of leverage, okay? So please, don't follow Dave Ramsey's advice if you want to build wealth, okay? Start building wealth now. Start building wealth now. And I don't care if you're in debt up to your eyeballs or not. Start building wealth now, okay? All right, Carey Buck here. Please give me some thumbs up, some likes for this video. If you have any questions, post them below, okay? If you have any ideas for future videos, post them below. Don't forget to click that little ATM, whether it's there or there. Click the ATM, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification so like always, so every time I post a video, you're first to know about it, all right? And again, if you'd like me to help you start your own ATM business so you can collect monthly passive income and big chunks of cash in small time frames, I invite you to go to atmtrainingvideo.com, or better yet, click that link in the description. Carey Buck here, signing out. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, and may you live happily off of passive income.